Today I want to talk about just a simple routine that you can integrate into your workouts to help kind of maximize your routine, or maybe something that you can do just to switch up what you're doing, because a lot of times we can get stagnant just because we're doing the same thing over and over again, okay? So I want to think about maybe changing your circuits, and maybe you're already doing this, but we're going to change it into a full body segment where we're going to do an upper, lower, we're going to do some movement stuff to increase our mobility, and then a core exercise, okay? So we're thinking here in this circuit one, we're going to think push. Push is going to be anywhere that we're going to push our body weight. So we're thinking chest, shoulders, anything where we're having this pushing mechanism. And this also can be pushing off the ground like a squat or a lunge. But for this one, we're going to go upper body. So we're going to think about push-ups, okay? Very easy traditional push-ups where you can push up and down, target the chest, the core, everything. Now, when you're doing this, a lot of people are like, well, how many do I do? That's a great question. Everyone's going to be different. So what I like to do is when you start your routines is see where you're at, right? Test before and then test 3 to 4 weeks after. So before you start your next routine, it's like do as many push-ups as you can, see where you're at, and then write that number down. And then in 3 to 4 weeks, try and repeat that same test to see how your workout's going. Because when you're able to track with numbers and stuff like that, not only just subjectively with feel, it's going to help you understand how your program's going. So in the beginning, just think anywhere from 5 to 10 push-ups. And these push-ups, when you do them, you don't have to always think about more repetitions. Going slower with your push-ups or any movements to a certain degree is going to cause more stress on the body. And so you can improve your strength by doing 5 very, very slow push-ups versus 8 to 10 fast push-ups. So don't think everything has to be fast when we're doing this, okay? We call this time over tension. Next, since we've done an upper body exercise, we're going to go down into a lower. So we're going to let the upper half rest, and we're going to really target the lower half. And with this, we're talking about a hinge. And a hinge exercise is something where you shift your hips back, you feel the hamstrings, and eventually you're going to feel those glutes. So deadlifts, single leg balance to reaches, glute bridges, stuff like that. Stuff that target those hamstrings and those glutes, okay? Or more of the posterior side of your body. Now with this, SL being single leg, we're going to do single leg balance to reach. What this means is we're going to target one leg at a time, and we're going to focus on balancing out. And we're going to go through these exercises in the next segment. But then from here, what you're thinking about anywhere from 4 to 8 per side, okay, when you start. Then after you've done that, so you've done an upper half, you've done the lower half. Now once you get down to mobility, you should have your elevated heart rate. Maybe not in the first round like you will in the 3rd and 4th round, but it should be elevated to a certain degree, and you may be sweating a little bit. So as you've expended all this energy, and you may be coughing up mucus, whatever it is, one good thing is to down-regulate the body and kind of recharge it for the next next round of things. So I like to put a mobility drill in, and mobility drill to me can be anything from laying on the ground breathing to doing a stretch, a hip flexor stretch, an upper body stretch, whatever it might be. In this case, what I like is what we call a 90-90 breathing exercise, where you're going to lay on the ground, put your feet on the wall, you're going to go palms up, and you're just going to breathe in through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. One of the fastest ways to down-regulate the body and bring that heart rate down is working on diaphragmatic breathing. Plus, it allows you to get the oxygen in, recharge the system, and kind of get ready for that next hard routine coming up, or that next round. Once you've kind of down-regulated the system, and the key with this one, everyone's going to be a little bit different. And each round may be a little bit different. So say you go through the first round, when you get to the mobility, you haven't really expended that much energy compared to more further rounds. So maybe you spend 20 seconds of just breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Maybe it's really hard, so you spend 30 to 40 seconds. And each round, you may add a little bit of time. So it could start first round at 20 seconds. Second round could be at 30 seconds. And 3rd and 4th round, you may be there longer, which is fine. You just want to kind of let the body down-regulate before you move on. Now from there, once we do is we lock everything in with the core exercise, okay? So I like putting the mobility drill before the core exercises, because when you have an elevated heart rate, you're going to use your secondary muscles for inspiration to help you get in air. That means chest muscles, neck muscles, lower back muscles, back extensors, anything that's going to allow you to do this. Well, when you do that, it's going to lengthen your abdominal muscles and the muscles that connect the rib cage to the pelvis. And these are the real intrinsic muscles that we need to stabilize that spine. So first we want to down-regulate the system, tell those secondary muscles to calm down. We don't need you that much right now. And use the true core muscles that lock in the rib cage from the diaphragm, your internal obliques, external obliques, anything around the rib cage to lock it in and be able to do that. And one of the best exercises to kind of get those firing is the side plank. And what I like about when you're doing plank exercises, if you do it for breath first time, is you're able to breathe in and really target those muscles. Remember, your core muscles help with your breathing. So if you can get these strong, it could help with your respiration down the road. So we down-regulated the system, we locked the body in with the core, and I'm thinking anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths as you are in this side plank position or a regular plank, whatever you decide. If not, start with 20 to 30 seconds and see where you're at. Once you've completed that, you're going to revert back up and you're going to start back with your push-ups. So how this is programmed and set up is it allows you to target the upper half. Then it allows you to target the lower half. Then you down-regulate your system, kind of let it recharge. Then you lock everything in ready to go in that core exercise to get ready for that routine again. Okay? Now when we're talking about level 1, or when you're talking about program, how many rounds should I do? Well, it's all going to depend on each individual. If you're a beginner, we like to call like level 1, start with 2 rounds of this, see how you feel, and then slowly, gradually bring that up. The key with these, and always been the key thing, is consistency. It's better to start with 2 rounds for the first week or for the first couple weeks and do this 2 days a week, and if you can, maybe 3 days a week, and you split out like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then having to doing 4 rounds on one day, taxing your body so much that your recovery needs to be longer and you end up only doing it once a week. So think about volume over time and try and get in a couple days of 2 rounds of this, and as that gets easier, then you can improve to a 3rd round and a 4th round. Now, what we always like to recommend is try to get 4 rounds in before you decide to change the repetitions on your exercises, okay? So instead of, say you do 5 push-ups and you're like, okay, that's easy, I'm gonna bump it up, but you've only done 2 rounds. We'll do 4 rounds of 5 repetitions of the push-ups and see how it is then, because when you think about it, it's like, usually the first couple rounds, it won't be as hard in a sense as the 3rd and 4th round. So sometimes you just need to wait a little bit of time. Now, if you get through 4 rounds and you're like, I can do more push-ups, add a push-up and then add a second one. And the key now when we're talking about adding rounds and then repetitions is with the repetitions, you don't need to add a lot of repetitions. So if you start off with 5 push-ups in 2 weeks, or maybe the next week, maybe you go to 6 push-ups. And then the next week you go to 7, and then the next week you go to 8 in a sense. And you will have a little stagnant. It's not going to be what we call linear, where you're going to keep on increasing the push-ups, or you're going to keep on increasing the repetitions on your lower half. What we have to understand is there will be an instant increase our first few weeks because your body's getting used to it. We call this neuromuscular facilitation. However, over time when your body gets used to it, then there's going to be a drop period, which is fine, okay? So it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster. We just want to see it drop and then go right back up a little bit back up. So please don't get worried about like, well, I went the first week at 5 push-ups, the second week at 6 push-ups, I got to 7, and all of a sudden I'm at 7 for a few weeks. That's fine. The key once again is the more you do this and split this over a week, the better chance that your push-ups are going to go over for a long period of time, okay? So just think of when you're working at when you're looking at workouts and you're like, I don't have a lot of time and I need to get a lot, I want to get a lot in. Well, if you program it where you do an upper body exercise, a lower body exercise, throw in that mobility, and then a core exercise, that allows you to create density to your program. And when you create density to your program, you don't have to sit around like, okay, 30 seconds, now I can do my next set of push-ups. So you're not isolating one exercise and then waiting 30 seconds and resting. You're able to get everything you need in. You're also able to get your stretching in, so at the back end of your workout, when you do your cool down, you don't need to spend 30 minutes of stretching unless you want to. This is more if you have a short period of time to work out. And then you get your core in, and then you're off and going to what you want to accomplish. And then you can make a circuit just like this for your next day with the same kind of concept. And all of a sudden you're getting full body workouts in throughout the week. So if you guys have any questions on programming, I'm going to be putting up a lot more lectures and stuff on how you can program different variations. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us and check out our YouTube channel, Cystic Fibrosis Fitness Institute, where we have multiple workouts and we're trying to upload more and more as the weeks go on. And we'd love to hear what you have to say, so then we can kind of tailor these, educational segments to what you guys are trying to accomplish. So stay tuned for next time.